Is a tax deed a real deed? In this video, I'm going to show you not only that it's a real deed, but how exactly it works, because it's actually a really good question. Why do they call it a tax deed? We're going to walk you step by step through this whole process and show you how to do this. In fact, not only am I going to show you that it's a real deed, but I'm going to show how you and your family can profit from this, understanding this little known, I guess it's kind of a mystery. I even talked to real estate agents on this and they go, well, how does this exactly work? And I'm thinking to myself, well, you're a real estate agent, but they don't deal on that side of it. So there are different forms of deeds out there. Sometimes they call them sheriff deeds, tax deeds, all of that stuff we're going to cover inside here. And I got some really cool stuff for you. Okay, once you understand all of that and how it works, then the light bulb is going to go off and you're going, oh, this will make sense. Then I will show you how you and your family can profit from this. This is not, it's easy, but it's not simple. I don't know if that made sense, okay? It's like anything. This is brand new to you, okay? I've been doing this for 30 years. So if I go a little fast or something doesn't make sense to you, boom, hit me up in a comment and I'll answer that for you. I promise you, I'm the one that does all that. Hit the like button, subscribe, bells, or whatever they do on that thing. And it's a little known fact that if you hit the like button, you'll be financially stable within 12 months. It's fact, it's science. Fauci told me that. Sorry. Anyway, so let's talk about this. What is a tax deed? What is a tax deed? Is something that the county issues to the property investor when a property is delinquent on their property taxes. So let me explain this, okay? If I go in and I buy a house, okay, I pay cash for it, the county will issue me a deed to that property. I own the property. Let me back up. Let's make it really simple. If I go down to a dealership and I buy a brand new, Honda Accord, and I pay the $30,000 or whatever they cost right now. I don't know what they cost. I give them $30,000 and they hand me the pink slip to the car, or what we've called the pink slip. Now, why they call it the pink slip is because they're pink, usually. Okay, that's what they always are, and sometimes, I don't know if they are in other states, but in California they are. So they're pink. Okay, so that is the title to the property. Okay, or to the car. I own the car. Here's my, same thing with the property. So if I pay cash for a property, the county issues me a deed to the property. I own it. Now, if I go ahead and go to the bank and say I get a HELOC or a homeowner line of credit, then the bank can go in there and they can place a lien against that. Just like if I borrow money from my car, they're gonna see it, but it says, hey, Bank of America is a lien holder. I can't sign this deed over, I can't sign this car over to somebody else until they're satisfied. I can't sign the deed to the house over until Bank of America, whoever lent the money on the house, is satisfied. So the county's keeping track of all this stuff. But the most important person of the county is the county themselves. So if you fail to pay the property taxes on that property that they're controlling clear title for, they say, according to their statutes, right? The state said this is law. This isn't made up. This isn't something that, tax liens and deeds have been available in this country for longer than we've been a country. And so what the county says, okay, we need our money. We're going to go ahead and have a tax deed sale. Okay, so what that means is I go down there, I'm going to get into the research a little bit later, but I go to the sale, I want to buy this property. Hypothetically, let's say it's a $300,000 property and they owe $10,000 in back taxes. Okay, so I have done all my research, I know what I'm doing, which I'll get to later, and I say, okay, I'm going to buy this property. I say, okay, how much you want to pay? I'll give you $10,000. Somebody says 15, 20, 25, 30. So it goes all the way up to say $50,000. So I buy this property for $50,000. I give that money to the county. They issue me a tax deed on the property. What that means is I now have the deed through a tax situation. So what I have to do is, because there might be some liens or encumbrances against that property that were wiped out because of the sale. So what I'm going to do is, now that I've got the tax deed and I've gone through the legal process of buying it that way, then and only then can I wipe out all these other liens and encumbrances? Now, I want to be very clear. These other liens and encumbrances can't say, wait, wait a second, I can't do this. I've got to pay this. I want to pay. No, they've missed their deadline. The county can't clear the title till it's gone to foreclosure. I can't clear the title and then go to foreclosure. The legal process hasn't even happened yet. It's putting the cart before the horse. Kind of makes sense? So the county says, okay, everybody's got up until this date, 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock, nobody's coming, nobody's coming. Okay, we can sell it now. They sell it. Now that they sell it, my next process is to clear the tax deed into a normal deed. That means everything on it. So what you'll see from time to time as you get into this, especially back east, with these properties that are 200 and 300 years old, somebody will say, the county, you'll go to an auction, I've been to these before, where the county official says, please, nobody bid on this property. The family or the law firm or whoever is trying to clear title, okay? The purest way to clean an old title and get all the junk off it from 200 years of switching and inheriting and liens and all that stuff is to go through a tax deed sale. So they go through a tax deed sale. Nobody buys it because they say don't buy it. They put their hand up, they buy it. Now that gives them the legal right to clear everything off and start fresh, okay? Literally nothing survives a tax deed sale. So is a tax deed legit? You darn right it is. It's the second to the last step in getting clear title. Now I'm gonna reiterate something right now. When I buy a tax deed at a sale, okay, and someone were to look at that title, it'll appear that there's still liens and encumbrances if there were going up the sale. Of course there are, okay, because it just went to a tax deed sale. At that point, it is my responsibility to go in there and uncloud the title, clear the title, clean the title, abate the title, whatever they want to call it, and wherever you're at in the country, it's a different system over there. But I'm going to be also clear, there's no ambiguity. None of those lien holders that were on that deal can say, oh, I didn't realize. That's already too late. So it's not an opportunity for redemption, it's just your time to go ahead and clear title on it. You're going to be very difficult in selling a property that still has a tax deed. You need to take that and turn it into a regular deed, and the only way to do that is to clean it up. Okay, there are companies out there that I can recommend that'll help you out with that. There's Tax Title Services. Nick over there and I are good friends. We've been doing this together for probably 25 years. So there's a lot of different companies out there or local attorneys that will show you how to do that. Will there be a cost involved? Yeah, it depends on the property. For a simple lot that's fully improved, you might pay $500. It might be as much as $4,000 if it's a complicated situation. What does a complicated situation mean? There could be 5 or 6 different errors. I had a funny situation where my attorney called me up and Jim's going, dude, there's like 11 people on this property. I went, wow, okay. And so he has to serve them all saying, hey, this thing was sold and you don't have any rights and what have you. And then he called me about a week later. He goes, oh, wait a second. It turns out of the 11, one of them was the same guy with 7 different aliases. So I mean, you wouldn't believe the stuff you see on that. But at the end of the day, I got the property for $7,000. I cleared the property for $3,000, and I turned around and sold it for $35,000 on a wholesale basis. I'm okay with that. So again, there's a whole gambit of things. So are tax deeds legit? It's a process. Of course they are. They have to go through tax deed before they can become a free and clear deed. Now that's just talking about what the process is. I'm hoping this makes a lot of sense to you. If you've ever bought a property, you start to think, oh, okay, this is kind of the behind the scenes, if you will. There's a whole window. There's over $400 billion in uncollected property taxes on an annual basis. And that may sound like a lot. In all reality, it's not. About 99.5% of all properties pay their taxes, but that 400 billion with the B dollars represents that other 0.5% out there. And that's where we come in. The county needs this money. They need it for the running the county, the schools, the bridges, the fire department, all that good stuff. And that's why the system's been put in place. After 4 years, enough's enough, and that's where it is. Listen, if you want to level up and you want to find financial independence for your family, I'm going to tell you the next thing you need to do. Pay attention. Okay, what you need to do is go to higginsmethod.com. I've got a brand new course for free What I'm going to do in that course is I'm going to show you where to find the tax deeds, how to clear the tax deeds, how to make sure it's the right tax deed to buy, everything you need to do to level up and get to your first deal within the next 60 to 90 days. This is Saen Higgins saying God bless and good luck. We'll see you there.